Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name's Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. Thank you for all the love on last week's episode, and for those of you who reached out, whether it was DM, text, call, anything along those lines. If you reached out for the magazine, thank you. I appreciate that. I also realized that, like, algorithm wise, not everybody is seeing everything at the same time. And I feel like I've been having that kind of issue, whether it's like with the podcast or with, honestly, I see it a lot more on my personal posts because I'll post out, do the times that I do, the days that I do. And some people won't see that, like any of that content for days, sometimes even longer than that. So I had some friends that were reaching out like, dude, I had no idea. I didn't even see the post that you made. I had to go and look for it. And I'm like, damn it. Like that sucks. You know what I mean? And this has to do with like algorithm issues. And there's nothing I can do on my end. Like I do whatever it is that I can. And I just try and like stick to the regiment that I have and hope for the best. Cause at that point, it's like all that stuff is out of my control. And I feel like myself and other creators are constantly having to face that, where it's like you're trying to not beat the system, but you're also trying to like play into it in some way. But no matter what you do, you have no say. So it doesn't matter how consistent, doesn't matter what or how or, anything like that. Something is going to work against you. So it's all good. But again, thank you for those of you who reached out. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And I'm still kind of processing all these emotions and kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still on cloud nine. Like it still feels unreal. Like to go and look at this thing and be like, damn, dude, there's a piece on the internet that's about me. And it's weird to process that. But it's a great time. It's a great time. I love it. I'm here for it. Starting off the year really strong, trying to keep it consistent, trying to keep it moving. Right. Like I feel like that's for myself, that's a lot of what this year's about. Is just trying to stay on top of things, trying to keep things moving a certain ways. I feel like the last couple of years have been difficult in their own regard, but I'm trying to move things a little bit different right now. Trying my best, you know what I mean? But this weekend was great. And I feel like it was a good precursor for the year. And granted, we started off the year insane, right? Like with all the fires and everything that's been going on over here. It's almost, I feel like I'm watching a movie every time I turn the TV on just to see like the aftermath and to see what all these people are talking about and like what's going on. And like today it was wild because a friend of mine sent me a story about this guy that was in Altadena, and he was in a wheelchair, and they were asking him like, hey dude, like what did you lose? Like what's going on? He was talking about like his home, that he lost his mother's ashes, his sister's ashes, a bunch of his like sports memorabilia and trophies and things like that. So the woman asked, what is so specific, or I guess like why I mentioned the trophies type of thing. And he mentioned them because a year ago on Thanksgiving Day, he was actually shot 5 times going to the liquor store. And he was going in, and I guess he heard, or there was 8 shots, and 5 of those 8 ended up hitting him in the back. And it completely took him out. So he's paralyzed from the waist down, which is why he's in a wheelchair now. And I guess he had a very promising career in sports, and unfortunately it was cut short, right? But this is a year ago. So a year ago he faced one of the heaviest tragedies that I think anyone could ever face in their life. And I think we also take that for granted, right? Like just the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, the fact that you're able to get out of bed on your own, the fact that you're able to use your hands and your extremities just on your own, at your own will, do whatever it is that you want at any point in time. And there's other people that, the ones that who were born and have always had to face this kind of struggle, they make do with what they have, right? But I feel like for somebody, especially in his case, who was able-bodied and then all of a sudden gets it taken from him, and that was essentially his career, that's what he had been working toward and that's what he was doing, and all of a sudden from everything to nothing, and at the blink of an eye, right? So you have that, and he's just to kind of see where he's at mentally and hear him talk about it in the way that he was and in the spirit that he was, it's phenomenal. Because it, again, and we've talked about this before, that's why I say and again, because we talk about perspective a lot here, right? And sometimes you're kind of given it in different ways, and sometimes you just kind of see it and you're like, whoa, this is very much the perspective. Not that I needed, but it's just like, hey, you might feel a certain way, or you might think certain things are this, but there's also this happening. And it's not that I'm not conscious of it. I'm very much conscious. I'm very cognizant of what's happening right now. And it's wild because there are people outside of the Hollywood space that have lost everything. You know, that their families that worked for these homes, or these families have lived here for years and years and years. And it's what the family had. And all of a sudden they go from everything to nothing. And I'm sitting here thinking about them. Like, how is it that they're going to recoup? Right. And it was crazy because I was watching the news yesterday and they were talking about how basically there's like a government program to help people kind of get back on their feet. Right. So there's a loophole with that, where all of these people who are doing GoFundMes and basically some sort of financial assistance that's coming in from the internet, it could actually disqualify these people from receiving any sort of help from the government. And to me, that fucking blows my mind. Like, so you mean to tell me because people are donating to this person, it's going to exclude them from receiving any sort of benefit, when this is completely separate, right? You're talking about, for example, people like you and myself that are going to say, hey, dude, you know, here's $10, here's $100, here's $1,000, whatever it is, right? You're throwing money at these people to try and help them. And it's weird to think about that it could also possibly hurt them in some way by receiving the assistance that they need, because this association counts that as like some sort of income. And it would discount them from this program. And it's like, dude, that's fucked up. You know, people have lost everything. And you think, and I'm not trying to say or like seem ungrateful in some way, right? But it's like, one of these people who've lost everything, they receive 10 grand. That's great. That's great, right? That can help them get into an apartment. That could help them kind of get on their feet. But it's not going to put them anywhere near where they used to be. It's not even going to put them a quarter to that, right? If you've lost your home, those of us who are here in California, or people who are trying to move to California, you understand what the housing market is here, specifically in Southern California. Because there's still very much affordable places in the state of California, whether you move a little more inland, you go more east up towards the mountains, you kind of move to like Central California, things like that, places a little more desolate, Bakersfield, you know, areas like that. Yeah, of course. But here, LA County, Orange County, even San Bernardino County too, like some areas of it, a starter home is insane. I don't even know how you consider that a starter home anymore, right? Like you're talking about 800 and above, 700 and above. So how are these people supposed to just all of a sudden turn around and buy a house when all they have is like 10 grand to their name? Because they lost everything. Anything and everything they had. And granted, some of them may have had assets, or some of them may have had things that they can liquidate, but you can't always bank on that for everybody, because not everyone has that. You know, I saw, even in the lowrider community, I saw a couple people that ended up losing all their cars. You'd see Bombers, you'd see, Impalas, just all kinds of different classics, and gone. Just roasted, burnt to a crisp. And you're like, fuck, dude, there's no saving that, right? Because sometimes, especially on the vehicle side, a panel catches on fire, you have an engine fire, whatever. You put it out, you make do. But there's also a certain point where you can't come back from that. And a lot of these vehicles, the devastation that was done to them, it's like, dude, there's no coming back from that. Like, these are complete losses. These got to get scrapped. You're lucky if you can save the frame. And even then, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to go get another 64 Impala? You're going to go get another body? When someone's asking for a shit one, with like rust holes and all this, they're asking 15 grand for the shell. And they're like, oh, because I know what I got. And it's like, damn, dude, this is rough. So there's so much looking at the whole situation. I'm not trying to bring a downer, into the cast, but this is just kind of what was on my mind, right? So it brought a lot of things up. And again, seeing the story that my homie sent me, I'm like, damn, dude, this is heavy. And I'm thankful. It made me very much thankful, as if I'm already not, but it made me even more thankful to be in the position that I'm in, to live where I live, the people that I have in my life, those who support me, this magazine feature. Like, there's so much that I can sit here and be like, damn, dude, like, this is incredible. Like, I'm honestly just shocked. to be in the shoes that I am, and just, I don't have another word aside from thankful. I am. And it was nice because I got to celebrate it this weekend. I know I had talked to you guys that I didn't really have a chance to celebrate, and I finally got to celebrate this weekend, which was awesome. I loved it. But we'll get into that in a second. Starting off my weekend, it was great. I got to spend it with family, and I was a little apprehensive on that because I feel like, I mean, with family stuff, it's so hit and miss, dude. Like, especially, and I know I'm not just speaking for myself. I know a lot of you experience that too. It's like there's some sort of family event, and you're like, fuck, dude. It could either be really cool or it could be really shit. And it's very rare there's an in between. And with this family I was going to spend time with, I feel like they're like, that's one of those no in betweeners. It's either going to be really cool or it's like, I want to get the fuck out of there. And it was really fucking cool. We were celebrating one of my cousin's birthdays, and his actual birthday was actually yesterday, but they wanted to celebrate it early. So we did something on Saturday, did like a family brunch, and it was cool. We all got together, and it was also really intimate, which was nice because I didn't know who was all going to be there. And it was very, very intimate. Like a couple close cousins, his closest tias and tios, his mom, his dad, just like that, like very, very small. And we all got to sit, enjoy brunch. They had a mariachi that was incredible. It was probably hands down one of the best, if not the best mariachi I've seen in years. Years. Like I can't even put it into words. I'm just sitting there like, fuck, this is amazing. And it's not that I don't like mariachi, but it's very rare that I will find a group, or if I listen to it live, that I'm like, these fools are great. Or sometimes I'll just sit there like, all right, yeah, they're cool. They're cool. But nah, I was like floored. Like I'm sitting there, I was like recording video, and I was even showing Albert too. I had sent him a video. I'm like, dude, listen to these fools. And it's crazy because I was having this conversation with my cousin at the brunch, and he was telling me, he goes, dude, what's hard is that it's an older group. Like the group's been around for a very long time, but they're inserting a lot more like younger people in, right? For different instruments to sing. And it's important to have that. And I feel like they get discounted right away because it's like, they're young. They don't know. And it's like, dude, they know. If you give them a shot and you listen and you hear what they have to offer, you'd understand. And on Saturday, he had told me about this group before, but I've never heard them. So when, we're sitting there listening and they're playing and they're doing their thing, I was like, dude, these guys are no fucking joke. And it's crazy because, again, a lot of them are super young. They're in their early 20s. And it's like, it's amazing to see the culture be adopted and to be like continued in that way. Because, of course, we think of mariachis, you think of like the older guys are kind of out there doing their thing. It's a whole grupo of, 50 plus somethings, and they're just getting down. They know the classics. They know all this stuff. But it's like, dude, the younger ones know, love, and appreciate it too. So having such an intimate setting, for me, it was great because I felt like it was almost like a concert for me. Like I got to just sit there and witness something incredible because these guys are traveling all over the world. They're in competitions. They're doing all kinds of stuff. And they're in my cousin's backyard. And there's 20 of us just sitting here. Everyone's with their phones out, like amazed. And I'm sitting there like recording on my phone, but I have my phone like off to one side and I'm just like watching because like I want to record this. I want to see it. I want to be able to go back and listen to it. And I know a lot of the times it's like you see people recording everything and they're looking at it on their phone instead of watching it. And I always try to do that, right? Where it's like if I'm watching something, I'll have my phone off to the side and I'm just holding it in general, but I'm taking it in. Like I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the performance. But it was fucking amazing. And it was almost like I didn't know I needed that. But it just made me feel good. It made me feel happy. And like I felt like this crazy amount of love. And also it was really dope because at one point, so my cousin, his cousin is actually in the group. And at one point, his cousin came out and was performing a song. And then my cousin got up, or not even got up, but he was like sitting there, but he came over to him and they started singing together. And I'm like, yo, this is sick, dude. Like how many opportunities do you get in life to kind of see things like that, to experience something like that, and to just see that kind of love, to see that kind of passion for the music and just have it all come out. And then for it to be celebrating his birthday, right? Like that was incredible. So all in all, it was a great fucking day. Great fucking day. And for me, I didn't say anything. A lot of the, like, I've told a lot of people about the magazine thing, but I didn't say anything to any of this family or like mention it because I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, oh, hey, by the way. Like, nah, it's cool. Like, if you know, you know. And at the same time, it's for my cousin's birthday, dude. It's about him. We are celebrating my fucking guy right here. Let it focus on him. Let it be about him. It's not about me. Don't worry about that. If you've seen it, cool. If you didn't, no big deal also. Like, it, again, I have my people to celebrate me. I have my time. This is him. But it was beautiful. And the fact that everything went off without a hitch, everybody was just kind of feeling good. They were in good vibes, good spirits. The drinks were flowing. Tequila was out. Bottles were moving. And it was tight. And it's like, you know what? Fucking sick. So the fact that it was the first family function of the year and it went off the way that it did, I was like, okay, this is a good vibe. I like this. I like where this is going. You know what I mean? I like all that. So moving to Sunday, I was going to see Albert and Yesi. We were going to have our first Sunday Funday of the year because they've been under the weather. And I feel like right now, so many people are sick and it's tough trying to plan shit out, right? Because you're like, oh, dude, let's kick it. Oh, I can't, bro. I'm sick. And I've been getting that left and right from people. And it's like, if one homie is sick, the other one isn't. And you gotta just, you take your windows and all that. So we were getting together on Sunday, again, for a first Sunday Funday, just to kick back, go get some brunch again. So it was a very brunch-filled weekend. And just to celebrate the magazine. Because again, I hadn't really done anything in honor of that. And just to kind of give myself that, like give myself my flowers, right? And say, hey, dude, like you did it. Enjoy yourself. And I'm not saying that like I have to go out and drink or I have to go party or I have to do this, but I want to celebrate it with people, right? Because they're very much a pivotal part of that. And getting to do Sunday was perfect. It was the fucking cherry on top for, everything. It was great. And we fucking enjoyed ourselves, dude. We went to a local spot, got a couple, I'd say a couple because we got two pitchers of margaritas. It was myself, Albert, and Yesi. And we're just sitting there, dude, just drinking, talking, laughing, and I'm like, this is it, dude. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a continuation of my Saturday. It's a continuation of the vibe. It's a continuation of the good that's to come this year. And this is what I'm working towards, right? To be able to continue doing these things. And they're constant reminders. But time with them is very much appreciated. And it's like, okay, cool. This is it. This is what it's all about, right? And then at the same time on Sunday, I was also kind of gearing up for what was coming this week because two of my closest friends, Jay and Sabrina, were going to be having their baby. And it was going to be, they had their induction date, which was actually on Sunday. It was going to be starting on Sunday. So I went to the hospital, went to go see them. They're in the process of getting everything going. And I saw them Sunday night. So once Albert and Yesi dipped out, I got a call from Jay and I was like, okay, cool. I'm rolling to the hospital. And I didn't know if they were going to have the baby that night or what the deal was, right? But everything just felt right. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. Like, I love what's happening in life right now, right? Like, there's so much, again, to be thankful for and to be just present for. And I'm trying so much more to be present and to allow myself to just be away from the digital stuff, right? Because with all this that's happened with the magazine, I feel like it's also given me a fresh perspective on, different people, different things. And it's like, okay, maybe stepping back isn't a bad idea. Like, I can work when I have to work and do my stuff that I need to do. But aside from that, like, step back. I don't want to be on here. I don't have this sort of need or want to be on there because I feel like you can kind of fall a slave to it and it just kind of eats you. It consumes you. Like, everyone's talking about the whole TikTok ban. It's like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Social media we could have a whole episode on it, but I think it's garbage. What it's done for society, what it's done for people, because nobody knows how to interact anymore. You can't even have simple conversations. So it's like, fucking go back, right? Get rid of it all. And granted, that would affect me too, right? And like what I do and how I get my workout and how I do my advertising. But it also doesn't kill me, dude. Like, fuck it. And granted, I don't use TikTok. Like, I did for a little bit. I was using it for the podcast. And then I just I realized, like, not like what it was doing to me, but kind of what it was doing to me. And I felt like stress. I felt the pressure. I felt all this stuff to just try and do something because it was like, oh, I have to. Like, everyone's doing it. And it's like, nah, hold on. This isn't it. And it was cool for a minute, but it wasn't worth it. So it's not a big deal. But again, this past weekend allowed me to kind of step back from all that shit. And it's like, okay, cool. This is what it's about. It's these moments. It's being with these people. And granted, we've talked about this a lot on the show too, right? Being present, being there, telling the people that you love that you care for them and everything in between. But this is what it really is all about. And for myself, starting the year off this way was really fucking important. Because I need that, dude. Like, I need those kind of vibes. I need those kind of things in my life because I feel like the way that everything's been going, it's been rough. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. And granted, we all fucking experience that shit. So I'm not trying to say my story is different than that or it's more complicated or whatever. But I also can't discount how I felt. And I can't discount what I've gone through. I can't just throw that shit away like it's nothing, right? Or compare and kind of give that kind of perspective, right? Like, I can't compare my story to Homeboy's story that Brianna sent me. They're not comparable. I don't understand what his struggle is. I don't understand the heartache, the suffering that he's gone through. I have my own. I have my things that I deal with. And to me, like, that's all I can be concerned with, right? I can look at a story like that and say, wow, thankful. I'm thankful to be here. Like, I hope everything works out for him. I wish the best for him in his life and all of his future endeavors. And for myself, all I can do is sit here and be like, wow, that's crazy. Like, blessed, thankful, and everything in between that I'm right here, that I'm in these shoes living this life right now. Because it could be very different. I could be somewhere else. I could be experiencing something else. I could have been a homeowner in that area and could have lost everything. I could have had a brother or a sister and lost them to the fire. And there's so many things, right, that you can kind of spin about within that. But while I was at the hospital and just there with Jay, like, there was some minor complications that started to go off. And I was just like, damn, dude, this is crazy because this is real life. Like, your phone, the social media, all the internet, this is all bullshit compared to what's happening right now. Like, I got my girl about to give birth to my nephew. And anything could happen to her, to the baby. And I got my brother over here, Jay, losing his shit. Because it's like, that's his son. That's his wife to be. So I had so much perspective that was just kind of thrown at me. I'm like, all right, just open your eyes, take your notes, open your heart. This is what it's all about. Be here, be present, help however you can. Just be a part of this process and allow yourself to be a part of this process, right? And be genuine to it all. Be open, be accepting of it all, because you're being given this as a gift. You're being allowed to see this for a reason. Because anybody could be there. You could be anywhere. You could be doing anything. I could have opted out to go to the hospital that night. I could have just said, hey, dude, I'll catch you tomorrow, or I'll catch you on another day, or just let me know how things are going. But I didn't. I was there. And I got to see and experience things. And I'm like, shit, dude, this is wild. Why? I don't know. But I chalk it up to the universe and say, hey, you wanted me to see this? You wanted me to be a part of all this stuff? Cool, I'm here for it. And I've been trying to say yes just to things in general, experiences, new things, whatever. Like, even for Saturday, I almost couldn't make it. But I was like, you know what? Fuck work. Fuck all this. I'm going to go be with the family. I'm going to go chill and then look at the experience that I had. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is what happens when something's kind of presented to you. And if you feel a certain way about it, it's like, just run it up. Go do it. Go do it. And then as I was kind of going through this whole process, right? Just with Jay and Sabrina, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm the one that's having the baby. And thankfully, they ended up having the baby last night. Healthy boy. He's, 8 pounds, 19 and a half inches. And I'm like, crazy, dude. Like, my boy's here. We've been planning this forever. You know, the baby shower and just kind of going with Jay, getting him stuff, going to the apartment, seeing the baby stuff set up. And it's like, now we have an addition to the family. You know, my nephew's here. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this is crazy. But it's so beautiful. And I'm like, you know what? This is what happens. Like, just in general in life, right? Like, when you can stay true to these situations, I think everything just kind of falls into place. And I love it. I fucking love it. Like, I love how I feel. I love where I'm at, the people that are in my life. And again, the perspective that I was just brought with the magazine and how things, like, I knew it. I'm telling you, when I got the email from the day that the article went live, I woke up and I just sat there and I was like, dude, nothing's ever going to be the same. And it's truly been that way. There's so many people that I've had instant perspective on, and I've been able to kind of remove from the circle and just say, you know what? Like, this is it. I have my people. I have my clear visions. I know where I need to go. My pathways that were kind of, I guess, filled with a bit of rubble, like, I'm able to kind of dust them off and say, okay, cool, this is where I need to go. And I'm staying true to that. I'm staying genuine to all of that. I'm staying genuine to myself. And I think that's what I owe myself, right? Is to be genuine to myself. Because I think if you can stay genuine to yourself and just kind of be what you need, then everything in life, I think everything that's not for you will naturally remove itself. And when you are good to situations and you're good to yourself, I think it will reciprocate and just continue the cycle. And that's what I've been kind of falling into, is I'm falling into this place of like understanding and just kind of surrendering to all of that. Saying, all right, cool. Like, this is what it is. All this fuck shit is going to remove itself on its own. As long as I don't give it the energy, I don't give it the time, then it's cool. Remove itself. Like, I was talking about that today with Brianna because she hit me up. I mean, aside from her and I talking every day, and after we were talking about the subject with this guy who lost everything, right? We started talking about people. And I was telling her in this conversation, I said, dude, you know what's funny? I seen this clip of Andrew Garfield, and he was talking about essentially along the lines of love. But he goes, you know, I'm 40 years old and I love myself. And if you don't love me, that's your loss. Because like, I love myself. Like, I'm here for myself. And I tell her, I think about that all the time. And not that is because Andrew Garfield said it, but it's weird when you see things online or when things kind of come across your path for whatever fucking reason. Like, why am I seeing this right now? It's random, but like, why am I seeing this? Because I'm also not like a celeb person. I'm not one for like celeb gossip or any of this bullshit. So when celebrity stuff comes across my page, like, I could care less and I just keep swiping. But when, I don't know why, I just stopped and I watched it. And I'm glad that I did, because again, it was one of those things that just kind of like planted a seed in my head. And I think about it almost every day since I've seen this clip, which was a couple weeks ago. And I think about it and I'm like, okay, I love myself. This is where I'm at. And if you're not going to love me, then that's cool. That's your loss. Then leave me the fuck alone. Like, exit stage left with everybody else. It's not a big deal. Like, there's no harm, no foul. Like, I don't hold anything against you. It's just that I can't sit here and be genuine to myself if I allow any sort of mistreatment of myself, because I did that for so long. I let people mistreat me for so long. I let people treat me as if I was an option, from like romantics, friendships, like, you know, all those sorts of aspects. And I'm not saying I need to be your priority. That's not what I'm saying, especially when it comes to the friendship side, because I can see how that can be kind of taken a certain way. But like, if I prioritize you and I'm trying to make time to see you or whatever, and it's like there is no time, or you're not making that, or I don't see any sort of effort, or if I'm always the one reaching out, it's like, I need to stop that. What happens if I stop that? And when the communication stops, it's like, okay, so that's really where it was lying, right? That's really where our connection was. The connection was because I was continuing that. But the moment I stopped, it just kind of fell off. So it's taken me some time to come into that space and to kind of accept that sort of mentality, because I haven't always had that. And I think because of those things that I've endured, I just kind of felt like this is what you do. You always have to chase people. You always have to kind of convince people to love you type of thing. And like, almost like the chase is what it's all about type of thing. And it's not, it's fucked up. It shouldn't be so difficult. Anything shouldn't be that difficult, whether it's romantic love, friendship, family. Like, you should never have to go out and seek it and convince people that like you're worth their time, you're worth their love, their energy, whatever it may be. So being genuine to yourself is kind of understanding that. And that's where I'm at, is like, this year for me is being genuine to myself, giving myself the gifts that I need, allowing myself to do these things right now, because there's no better time than right now. You know, Albert and I were talking about that on Sunday. There's certain changes that he's making in his life and certain things that he's doing. And he's like, because why not? And I'm like, exactly, bro. Like, why not? Why not do this? Why not go here? Why not explore there? Why are you going to wait? Because, oh, dude, I'm going to wait for this because it's going to be better. What if you don't have the fucking chance? What if you never get the chance? You can't say, oh, once I get this, I'm going to be happy. Be happy right now. Go get that happiness. Go find it and go make it for yourself. Nobody else is going to make you happy. People can contribute to your happiness, but ultimately you are the only person that can make yourself happy. And the more that the days pass, especially in this new year, is the more that I see that. I have to make myself feel a certain way. I have to be happy. It's how I speak to myself in the mirror every day. It's the intentions that I set. It's how I feel. I have control over that. Nobody else does. So it led me to the advice for the week. Because I'm like, what is it that I'm trying to say? What would I want to share with you guys that kind of falls in line with all this? And it's almost like a what's good for you type of thing. Because again, that's what I've been looking at, is what's good for me. The people, the places, the things, all of that. Like, who and what is good for me? Keep that around. So my advice for the week: when something is good for you, it leaves you feeling whole and seen. It celebrates who you are in the moment. It calms chaos and creates space for peace. It leaves you more centered and grounded. It reinforces constant alignment with your sense of self. It pushes you towards becoming the best version of yourself. It strengthens your courage to dream bigger and love deeper. And it gives you hope, not just for today, but for the person you're becoming. I think that's so beautiful, and encompasses everything for me this year. And I know for a lot of you, even as I was reading those points, I'm pretty sure at least one of those points hits home. So think about it. Replay that part, listen to it again, watch it again, whatever it is that you need, because when something's good for you, it's all of those things. It is all of those things. And just remember, stay genuine to yourself. Put out that good, because it's going to come back to you. And whatever is bad, negative, whatever, trying to enter in some sort of way and cause chaos, if you just continue on being true to yourself and you continue on that path for you, what makes you happy, what fills you with love, all of those other things will naturally remove themselves. It's going to fall off because it's not part of it. It's not part of your story. It's not meant to be. It might have been at some point, but it doesn't have to continue to be that way. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you guys supporting this podcast. And again, just to finish off, I know I mentioned it already, but I want to give a massive congratulations to Jay and Sabrina on their beautiful baby boy. I can't wait to hold him and sit there, and I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be a mess. But I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. And thank you again for everyone who comes by to this podcast to support me. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, an incredible weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one.